my hair had fallen out. We all know someone who has experienced hair loss, and probably most of us, or many of us at some point in time, have experienced more hair loss than normal. Well, okay, so I'll tell you a story. So you guys know I wear extensions, okay? I have my hair is about shoulder length, and I've always been upfront and transparent about this because, I mean, I'm an open book, and honesty is always the best policy. But anyway, I love hair extensions. I feel like they're like a good accessory. I've been wearing extensions since I competed in pageants at the Miss America pageant back in like 1999 for 20 years, okay? And I love them. Now they're just a part of who I am. Anyway, my actual hair is about shoulder length. It comes down to about here, but of course it's not as thick as, you know, my weave hair. And this is a thinner weave than usual. Anyway, so I remember when I was in college, this is before I competed in pageants. So my natural hair is, like my virgin natural hair is actually very thick. It's thinner now as I've gotten older and as I've worn extensions over the years. That's just what happens. But when I was younger, my hair was super, super thick. And my mother always did my hair, meaning so as an African-American, my hair is thick and very coarse. I got hair relaxers. I still relax. This is my hair. I relax it to make it straighter. Okay. Y'all know what I'm talking about. This ain't no secret. We're all friends. So when I was in college, I remember I couldn't always go home regularly because it was expensive. We just didn't have the money to fly me home. I was in New Jersey at Princeton and my parents in Iowa. And I remember I would go long periods of time between getting my hair relaxed, and I could, but I remember there was one stretch that was just going to be too long. And I talked to my mom, and we decided that I would go to a hairdresser in town. It would be my first time ever going to get my hair done from someone other than my mother or my mother being there. I was a kid, you know, I was like 19, I was 18, right? So I got the name of a beauty shop that my girlfriend went to, speaking of hair loss, that my girlfriend went to at Princeton, and I was, you know, kind of like nervous and whatever, and I go, and I really was only supposed to get the edges relaxed. The edges, like the new growth, you guys know. New growth is the hair as it grows out of your scalp and like your edges, and like I was just supposed to get that done. I wasn't supposed to get all this hair relaxed because it already had been, right? And I knew that that's what had happened and what I'd always done. But when I got there, I was super nervous. And the woman took one look at my hair and she goes, "Oh, well, your hair is super thick. I think we should run the perm all the way through." And I was like, okay. I didn't know what she meant. I didn't know what that would do. I didn't know anything. I was a kid. And what that meant was she was actually going to re-perm all of my hair, which she did. She ran the relaxer all the way through my hair instead of just relaxing the new growth, which is like, you know, like maybe like an inch here, and the edges, she relaxed like literally all the way through. And I got my hair done. She finished doing it, and I just thought thought that was what I was supposed to get and what was supposed to happen. And, you know, it seemed nice. I was like, oh, I got my hair done. I felt proud. And one thing I noticed was it was maybe 2 or 3 weeks in, I remember being in my mirror in my dorm room, and my hair just wouldn't style the way it had been in the past. Like it wasn't laying right. You know how like, you know your hair, and it wasn't laying right. It just wasn't doing right. And I just was like, why doesn't it look right? I didn't know what it was. And then I remember I was going to a formal. I got invited to a formal that spring, and I was doing my hair, and I was like, oh my God, my hair is so thin. Like it dawned on me what it was. Y'all, my hair had fallen out. Okay. And because I was a kid, I was in college, I didn't know, and I didn't pay a lot of attention because hair wasn't on I was trying to pass my classes and try not to, you know, my hair had fallen out. When I got home for break, my mother took one look at me and she was like, oh, and I was like, what? My hair literally, and I didn't realize how thin it had gotten. Like it was thicker up here, but like at the edge, it had broken off. It was all thin. My mother rushed me to my hairdresser who'd been doing my hair. And my mother had done it, and the hairdresser we'd had since I was young. She rushed me to the hairdresser, and my hairdresser literally chopped off all and I should post a picture of this. She cut off all my hair. And my senior pictures in college when I was graduating was me with short hair, like a really short style. Can I tell you, when my hairdresser cut off all my hair, I sobbed like a baby. I sobbed like an infant. I was devastated. I didn't feel like myself. Oh my, y'all, it was traumatic. Anyway, I'm telling this story to say that we have all had some experiences with hair loss, perhaps for different reasons. The reason why I lost hair at that time, my hair fell out, etc., is because of overprocessing, chemical overprocessing. She ran the relaxer all the way through hair that had already been relaxed, and it completely just fried my hair, okay? And so as we talk about hair loss today, I want you to keep that in mind because there are many different causes of hair loss. And that's what we're going to talk about today. So first of all, if any of you have experienced hair loss, men or women, this is for both, please don't feel shamed. Don't feel embarrassed. Don't feel like all hope is lost. Don't feel like there's nothing you can do. Don't hide yourself. Stand up loud and proud. And remember that there are a lot of things that we can do these days to help with different types of hair loss. You guys, I don't know if you guys knew this, but there's actually two different types of hair loss types, so to speak. Meaning, all loss of hair is not necessarily hair loss. There's also something called hair shedding. Now, hair shedding is different than hair loss. So hair loss is when our hair literally stops growing. Like the hair stops growing, okay? Hair shedding is when our hair is still growing, but more hair than usual falls out, okay? And remember that it's normal for us to lose about 50 to 100 hairs a day. That's normal. But hair shedding happens when your hair is still growing, but you're losing more than that 100 hairs per day. So you say, oh, Dr. Jen, I didn't know that. Yes, child, yes. All right, so let's start with the most common causes of hair loss, okay? This is going to be really, really important. Remember, this is when hair stops growing. Most common cause is hereditary causes, meaning genetics. This is for both men and women. Genetic hair loss is a big thing. Male pattern baldness, female pattern baldness. You might have heard those phrases. Well, that's genetics. That is hereditary. That's probably one of the most common reasons why people lose their hair, and that is under the classification of hair loss. Now, the next thing is sort of autoimmune conditions, or basically when the body attacks itself. For example, a condition called alopecia areata. You might have heard the word alopecia. This is the second cause of hair loss that I want to tell you about. Hair loss, again, when your hair stops growing. Alopecia is basically occurs when the body attacks the hair follicle. It mistakes itself for something bad and it attacks itself. So it attacks the hair follicles. And also people with alopecia can also have hair loss in different parts of their body as well. So keep that in mind, okay? Another cause of hair loss is actually brushing your hair too much. Excessive brushing can cause hair loss, all right? That's super, super, super important, okay? Also, other things, heat and chemicals can cause problems with hair loss, okay? Heat and chemicals are big, big, big ones. So heat, chemicals, harsh hair care products, hairstyles also that pull on the hair. So sometimes if we wear tight braids or tight styles or styles that pull on the hair too much for too long, that can actually cause hair loss. But remember, hairstyles are important. So flat ironing and chemicals and all that stuff. So remember, I certainly had some hair loss when I was in college. The other thing too is medical conditions can do it. So underlying medical conditions, I'm checking for your thyroid. Do you have a thyroid condition? Like hypothyroidism, for example, can cause hair loss. Maybe an anemia can cause it. Anorexia can cause it. There are other medical conditions as well that can do it. Also, medications. Medications can cause hair loss. That's something that I'm going to be doing, is looking at, your medications and seeing what you're taking. Also, there are some people who have a compulsion to pull their own hair out. So that is really, really important to keep in mind, that if you suffer from a compulsion to pull your hair out, or someone who does, that certainly is a cause. So those are causes of hair loss, okay? And ideally, the hair will not grow back again until the cause stops, okay? So, for example, like chemotherapy is a good example of this, right? People have radiation. When the treatment stops, then the hair tends to regrow. Now, remember what I said was that there is also hair shedding, okay? And remember what the difference is between hair loss and hair shedding. Hair loss is when the hair stops growing. Hair shedding is when the hair is still growing, but we lose more hairs than we should. We lose more hairs than normal. That is a big distinction. So you say, well, what causes hair shedding? Well, oftentimes these are reversible or temporary things, such as stress, med school, a stressful job, a stressful family life, a COVID. Look, being in a stressful environment, stress in and of itself can cause hair shedding. Also, weight loss that is, say, abrupt, very rapid, very quick, especially if someone's not taking in a lot of protein, that can cause hair loss as well, okay? Acute illness. You guys, did you guys hear? You probably heard of this. I never did a video on this, but hair loss due to COVID, that was the thing. Many people who were getting COVID also got hair loss. We do sometimes see hair loss with acute illnesses. Sometimes when people have high fevers or they have infection or COVID or things like that. Also, menopause. Ladies, we have talked about menopause. I have a couple of videos about menopause and hot flashes and things like that. Menopausal states, because of the hormone fluctuations, can cause hair shedding. Even childbirth. I have family members who, when they gave birth, they lost hair, okay? All you have to notice and to note is if you feel like your hair is not the same as what it used to be. And then just come to us and let us help you. Your doctor should check some blood work, very likely, should talk to you about any changes in your life, should talk to you about what things you're using on your hair, chemicals, perms, hair color, straighteners, anything like that. Should talk to you about your life, because remember, things that happen in life affect our body. And we're also seeing that here with hair loss. And as I said before, there are lots of amazing treatments and lots of advancing treatments. I give a lot of respect to my hair restoration specialists, dermatologists, those who deal with hair loss. So reach out to your doctor, find out where you can go, find out what you should do, make sure you're getting evaluated. And most of all, don't be embarrassed. In this day and age, one of the great things about life is that you can be who you want to be. And if hair extensions or a hair weave or a wig or whatever makes you happy, by the way, go ahead and wear that proudly. If a toupee makes you happy or hair implants makes you happy, that's okay too. I think a lot of time there's stigma and there's shame associated with certain things, and there really shouldn't be. What's most important is that you are healthy and that you're happy. So if you feel like you're losing hair, you don't understand what's going on, things have not improved, things are getting worse, they're not improving at all, or getting worse, please see us. There are things that we might be able to do to help out. I'm Dr. Jen. I so appreciate you being here. Guys, on Facebook, if you've not liked and followed my page, please do. I do lives twice a week. Consider on Facebook joining my Dr. Jen Superstars group. That's my subscribers group. Thank you all for all the stars, and I will respond, by the way, to your comments personally with those of you who send stars. Guys, I love you. Bye. I'll talk to you soon.